All right, so this, of course, is the big moment, Shreya, the moment that we were talking about. The wait is over and the counting of votes is currently underway. The first, it is the postal ballots that will, of course, be opened and counted. And by 8:30, that is when the EVM boxes will be brought out and they will be counted. The counting of the votes will happen fairly fast. And probably by 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we must have a pretty clear picture of which way the people in these 4 states and 1 union territory have voted.
That's right. Let's begin with West Bengal, Saleh. It's an extremely crucial battle. The entire country has its eyes on it. Mamata Banerjee is looking at a 4th term. The BJP is trying to break that rule of hers. Whether anti-incumbency and other issues go against Mamata Banerjee, we'll have to wait and see. The BJP, of course, leaving no stone unturned this time around to make sure that it reaches out to voters. Whether that has worked or not, we'll know today. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, of course, the exit polls have given MK Stalin and the DMK alliance the path to victory. Whether these numbers hold or not, another litmus test, not just for Stalin, but the man that you see at the center of your screens, Vijay. He is being touted as either the king or the kingmaker. We'll have to wait and see what happens through the day today. And of course, EPS, the AIA, DMK and BJP alliance, which are trying to increase their numbers. We will, of course, get to know what that result comes to as well. Let's also shift our focus to Assam now, another important state. Himanta Biswa Sarma looking at his Mama Magic, Saleh, to help him once again. A lot of popularity that he enjoys, but whether that popularity has translated to votes this time around as well for him, at least the exit polls gave him the numbers. Whether those numbers hold true through the day today, we will, of course, get you.
In Assam, just to dwell a bit on that, this is an election of missed opportunities for the Congress party because Himanta Biswa Sarma has been in power for about 10 years. There were murmurs that probably people may want some kind of change within Assam, but that probably may not happen. We still have to wait and watch as to what the numbers actually are. Because this, for the Congress, in a state, once it loses power, it seems completely incapable of clawing its way back. This is something that the Bharatiya Janata Party has done really very well. Every time it has managed to gain power in a state, it has effectively decimated all the other political players. It has done this in Maharashtra, it has done this in Bihar, and it's also done effectively in Assam as well. But can it now do this in the big state of West Bengal? Because for Mamata Banerjee, the stakes cannot be higher. She's no longer in the ascendant. She's someone who's trying to hold on to her turf. If she loses this election, it is a few years of political wilderness that Mamata Banerjee would be staring at. And that, of course, is going to be seen as to how things unfold. But this, in many ways, is a crucial election for the BJP as well, because it has expanded as far as it can. But can it now expand into these newer areas where it has not been able to do in the last 12 years at the peak of the Modi wave?
That's true. And, West Bengal is also important because if you look at the 2021 Assembly election, Saleh, in West Bengal, the BJP itself would have told you that, look, we're not looking at a majority or we're not looking at a very strong performance. We're just trying to make inroads. But this time around, the game has completely changed. They've gone all out. You had a lot of effort being put in by the top leadership, by their star campaigners to make sure that the voter, the last standing voter, is reached out. But here's where pollsters say the difference lies. The TMC already has a strong ground cadre. Trinamool Congress has been there for 15 years. Even before that, even before they came to power, when the left was in power in West Bengal, they were building up their cadre on ground, and that has worked through the years, as opposed to the BJP, which doesn't have a very strong cadre and a local leader network as strong as the TMC. They might say that it's stronger than 2021, but not as strong as the TMC right
this
now.
is the criticism that BJP seems to have no answer to. The biggest star campaigner, Suvendu Adhikari, is a former TMC man. He's a close aide of Mamata Banerjee. The fact that the BJP has not been able to grow its own leadership in the state that's going to be telling as to how it performs. Let's also, Shreya, go across to our reporters. I'm told that we have Dharamjot Kaur, who's joining us on this broadcast. She's, of course, been traveling the length and breadth of West Bengal. And we also have Siddharth MP, who's joining us at this moment from Chennai. But Dharamjot, let me in fact start with you. This is a high-stakes moment in the state of West Bengal. It cannot get bigger than this. Give us a sense of what the mood is like out there. How confident is Mamata Banerjee of coming back as the Chief Minister for a fourth time?
Well, I think that's a question, Saleh, that only Mamata Banerjee can answer, and only in a few hours from now. I think it's too early for even her to tell you what exactly lies in her political fate as far as the assembly election is concerned. But just to give you an idea of what the entire capital, Kolkata, looks like, we're not even talking about the interiors of West Bengal, just Kolkata for that matter. The length and breadth of the city has been barricaded, and it's been barricaded for the past couple of days. We have the local police here. We have on the other side of this particular Netaji Indoor Stadium, the CFPF personnel who've been here for a few days now. So this city in itself has become like a fortress, and if we didn't know better, it would seem as if there's some sort of a military operation going on, but in fact only is an election counting day, which is business as usual in other cities and states, but not in West Bengal. And I think that tells you exactly how high octane and how important this entire election is, and also how careful a lot of security personnel are being in terms of trying to avoid and evade any sort of violence or clashes between workers of the two parties or their supporters for that matter. But again, it's relatively peaceful this morning, Saleh, still very early on. The day has just begun. How it progresses in terms of the numbers, and if at all they have anything in similarity with the exit polls, that's something we'll find out in a few hours from now.
Dharamjot, good morning. Shreya here. As far as the heavy deployment is concerned, I think it's also pertaining to the fact that West Bengal in the past has never really seen a non-violent election as far as the state assembly is concerned. And in fact, this is perhaps the first one, at least in modern West Bengal history, that we are seeing that no death has taken place. And of course, these paramilitary forces, these massive numbers of personnel who are deployed there are for that very reason. But as far as, both the TMC and the BJP are concerned, both of course are fighting it out tooth and nail. You're on ground. Get us a sentiment of what both parties are doing today. Usually what we see is there is already mithai and sweets and all sorts of celebrations that are being prepared for in the early hours of the morning of the vote count day. What are you seeing around you?
Well, Shreya, that's not just news of today. That's been happening for the past couple of days now. We're seeing massive preparations underway from both parties, both for whom the stakes are very, very high. Last evening, when I was back here at Netaji Indoor Stadium and a couple of other strong rooms in Kolkata, we had party workers and representatives from both parties, the BJP and the TMC, really getting involved in a verbal spat. And that was happening on an hourly basis. There's also updates today from another strong room that the TMC and BJP representatives who will be present at one of the counting rooms have already indulged in a verbal spat already. So, and that happened at 7 a.m. in the morning. So that's the kind of temperament we're talking about in the day. Yes, sweets have been prepared, but who is it really going to be a sweet moment for? Who is it going to be a bittersweet moment for? I think it's too early to call that out right now. We also have a lot of government institutions that are shut down for the day, so not a lot of people on the street. But the majority is staying at home just to ensure that they do not get in the way of what might or could turn out to be a not so peaceful process in case that does tend to happen. Kolkata, as I mentioned, it's a digital fortress right now, and clearly there's a lot of movement that's not allowed. In fact, we had to walk all the way here, a couple of kilometers, just to get to this point. So there are no vehicles allowed apart from election officials and police vehicles in this entire area, Shreya. But yes, a very, very high stakes battle, and who it's going to turn out for, yeah.
Dharamjot, hold on to that thought. Shreya, one of the defining images of the campaigning days was the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi eating jhalmuri, in the campaign of Bengal. And now remains to be seen as to who actually ends up eating
feels the jhal. No, who feels the jhal and who
eats in another 4 hours from now. And it's going to be very interesting to see, because it is an election that you simply cannot predict. The pollsters have put out their numbers, but this is the moment of the truth. And we'll have to wait and watch out as to how things, of course, progress from here on. Because at this moment, some of these agencies have started putting out numbers, but at this moment, Viewers, bear in mind, go by the numbers that the Election Commission of India puts out on its official website, because those are the only reliable numbers. Because you'll see a number of these news outlets putting out numbers that are completely haywire, and they all start changing those numbers by 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But at this moment, it's important to talk about the issues of the people of Bengal, of Tamil Nadu, of Assam, Kerala, and also of Puducherry. Because remember, at the end of the day, people win elections not on the basis of what they promise, but on the basis of what they deliver. And for the last 15 years, since 2011, Mamata Banerjee has been in charge of the state of Bengal. It is one of those states that punches well above its weight politically. Mamata Banerjee is also an electric personality, someone who actually dominates, just through her presence on the national stage. And it remains to be seen. Let me in fact bring in Dharamjot Kaur here. Dharam, you've been talking to a lot of people within Bengal. The fact that this is an election where Mamata Banerjee, after having been in power for the last 15 years, is asking for another mandate. What are the crucial issues which have been dominating the minds of an average Bengali there?
Well, there's a myriad of them, Saleh, but I'll give you the top three. And number one on that list is jobs. We're talking across the spectrum, be it the rural areas or the urban areas. The youth and the younger generation is particularly concerned about jobs. The older generation is concerned about their children getting those jobs. So that's one massive area that people really want addressed in this particular state, because it's known for history, it's known for its culture, but it's not exactly known for providing a platform to people across industries, and that's something that's been severely lacking in this particular state. The other one, which is in a way linked to jobs, is investment, Saleh. And again, that's one major area that people do not see a lot of moolah trickling into West Bengal. And so they want to see industries, they want to see companies come here, and which in result will lead to more employment in this particular state. Whether that happens or not is the big question, because we've seen the TMC in power over here for the past 15 years. Industry development has not been at that scale that people are looking at. There's been a lot of focus on other things, but industry and employment have not been the areas that people are very much interested in. And that is something that the BJP, on the other hand, has also been pitting in terms of its manifesto and its promises, that if it is elected to power in the state for the first time in its history, mind you, then that is something, those are the two areas that they will definitely be looking at. The third major concern that people have on the streets of West Bengal is that of law and order. Not much of which that they have been seeing in the past few years. That's a major concern. Keeping things civic, keeping things lawful, the rate of petty crime, and otherwise just essentially keeping the streets free of crime. That's something that the people have not seen, and they really want to see that change in this particular state.
We also have to remember that the RG Kaur tragedy happened under this government, so there is that memory among voters as well.